Our third element today is on strategy. In relation to the strategy of the game, there are a number of things that we need to talk about at each position in doubles. The server, the server's partner, the receiver, and the receiver's partner. In the game of pickleball, and I'll show this in just a second, but before I do that, let me introduce myself. My name's Dennis Forbes, and I spent 28 years at the United States Military Academy at West Point in the Athletic and Physical Education Department as an associate professor for 28 years. I've been playing pickleball for 10. I have a national ranking, and I travel the country doing clinics in the United States and Canada. All right, we're going to talk about strategy of play, especially in doubles play. In theory, the serving side should never score a point. And that's only in theory, because the advantage, not like in tennis for the serving side, in pickleball the serving side is at a disadvantage. Joe is going to serve to Dennis, Dennis is going to come to the kitchen, and after the first shot of the game they own the kitchen. And the serving side is trying, through strategy, to earn their way to the kitchen. And one of the ways that we've learned is to use a drop shot. And that's how we get to the kitchen. We have two objectives. The objective for the receiving side is to never allow, ever, the serving side to get to the kitchen. They want to keep them deep and have them remain deep. The serving side, their objective is to earn their way to the kitchen. They can't force themselves to the kitchen. They have to find a means to earn it, because the receiving side already has possession. And the serving side will try to work their way to the kitchen. So now, once we're in the kitchen, all's fair, and then it's the best team that actually can find shots, set them up, and put them away. So let's kind of walk our way through this. I'm going to take Joe's place just for a second. When serving, 99.9% of us, all we do is serve. There's very little thought to what's going on. If this was a tournament, this is how Linda and I would play in reference to strategy. I'm the quarterback, I call the shots. I tell Linda, you've got forehand. We pick one of the two opponents that we feel is the weakest. We're going to go with black. The first thing I'm going to do as I'm sitting here getting ready to serve is I want to find my opponent's weakness. They're weak to Gary's backhand. They're weak to a lob over the back of his head. And they're weak down the hallway. So when I'm serving, a lot's going on and I haven't even served yet. So let's go through the sequence for the server. And my partner would be doing the same thing, and we don't have to say anything. First of all, I find weaknesses. Second, I tell my partner, you have forehand. That means she owns the mid part of the court. I've got the sideline. We pick an individual we want to play. Black. And I don't have to say it that loud that black will eventually figure out who we're playing. But it won't take them long to figure that out. And the last thing I'm going to do, and it's critical, is that I say to myself, as well as my partner, if I serve and Dennis hits back to me, I'm going to put a drop shot onto his backhand. So when I serve, I have a plan. I'm not sitting here and just going 0-0-2 serving and nothing has taken place other than I'm waiting for that ball to come back at me. Strategy of play is critical. I have a plan. When that ball comes back, I know exactly what I'm going to do. All right? We'll play a point. I'm going to serve to Dennis. Dennis is going to return it to me, and I'm going to drop it to Gary's backhand. Let's see if it works. And this is how it would be in a tournament. Okay, let's go back over real quick on service. Say we won that point, and again, the same thing's taking place. I do it every time. I look at weaknesses. Where are they weak? I have forehand. Black. We have the individual we want to play. And if the ball comes back to me, I'm going to drive my shot right back at Gary. Okay? So here's our plan. We're ready to go. Service. And what it ended up happening is we saw their weakness, we set a plan, and I drove the ball down the hallway off of the plan. It's the same sequence. We'll go back to where we started, and I'm now going to switch, and Linda's serving, and I'm her partner. And what's going on with me? Linda would say to me, first of all, we both would look and find their weaknesses. Okay? We're a team. We're trying to work off the same sheet of music. Both of us see that we like to play Gary's backhand. We also like the deep lob. So Linda's now saying to me, you have forehand, black, and we both have a plan. The plan this time, ball's going to go to Dennis, he's going to return to me, and I'm going to drop to Gary's backhand. Service. Okay? As I said in the beginning, the serving side is at a huge disadvantage. We already have lost half of the court. On return of service, Gary's going to come up, and now we've lost the entire front part of the court. We have to figure a way to earn our way in. We're now going to rotate this around, and they're going to be the serving side. I'm going to be served to. Linda's up, I'm back, and we talked about this a little bit earlier. I'm not going to drive the ball back to my opponent. I'm going to put some loft on it so that I can get to the kitchen with my partner. The only time I would drive is if I got a really weak return of service, which brought me into this area. If it brings me into this area, then I'm now not going to take it deep. I'm going to hit as hard as I can, preferably down the hallway. So let's just go ahead and play one quick point and watch what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to get the ball deep, deep, and by hitting it deep, I put them at a huge disadvantage. They've got to hit a perfect drop shot because we own the court. Linda's receiving serve. Let me just take a minute to explain my role here at the kitchen line. I own this part of the court, and I love where they're at. I don't want them up here. I'm going to do everything in my power to keep them deep, and I'll do that by owning the court. Linda's going to return deep, and she's going to come up here with me. Where I stand up here, I believe, is critical. I have some really good friends that play tournament virtually every weekend. And one of my good buddies, he plays right here. He wants the server to see very little of this court. He's actually off-weighted into the court. Now in pickleball, if Dennis serves and the ball hits me, they win a point. So I have to be very cautious sitting in this position. But I've really squeezed the court visually for Dennis. When I play off the court. I really don't care how much of the court Dennis gets to see for serving. What I want my opponents to see is as Linda returns the ball to them, I want them to see me coming across the court. I can go continue all the way across and poach, or I can stop. But what I'm doing in strategy is I'm making them more concerned about me than their shot. So as I come onto the court, I'm being viewed. And if they end up putting the ball right here, it's over. I'm going to do a put away. The other thing I'm going to do, if my partner isn't as quick as he or she could or should be, as I come onto the court, I'm protecting my partner. So if Dennis hits a ball like I did on the last demonstration hard, I'll step in, protect her until she gets up here, and then I'll move back into this position. Again, when I play, I'm here, not here. But it's all choice. It's up to you. But this person plays a big role. And one of the things I do with my doubles partner, men and female, is I give them a signal. If I give my partner a fist and the opponents can't see it, it means I'm coming across, but I'm not going to poach. If I give my partner the finger or eighth index finger, it means I'm coming all the way across. As I slide across, Linda will feed in behind me, and where if they hit the ball back here, which they're going to try to play Linda, not me, I'll be in this court poaching and end up being able to hit a shot. The opponents never know when I'm coming onto the court. They don't know if I'm going to stop or if I'm going to keep right on coming. But the thing that has to happen is Linda has to see my signal, and she has to fill in behind me because this side of the court's wide open. So let's go ahead and do it a couple times. Good. Nice return of service. Be really careful. The other one, and it just happened to Linda. In a tournament, if she runs up and isn't in complete control and does this and hits the ball, it's a fault. Or if she hits the ball here in an overhead and her momentum takes her into the kitchen or the no volley zone, we lose the point. It's a fault. Okay? Let's try it again. Perfect. Perfect offensive lob. That's one of those that you say to your partner, did you mean to do that? And her answer would be, absolutely. All right. Watch this time. And you guys play along with us. This time. Okay? And what I did is I gave Linda the signal that I was going to poach. Since we're talking about strategy, you all know what we're doing. In a game situation, the odds are Dennis is serving to Linda. Dennis is going to return the ball back to this side of the court. 99.9% of the time, he's going to give the ball back to Linda. So that when I'm coming across then I'm going to end up with a poaching shot. So let's try this. And that's a poach. That's coming across the court. My partner fills in behind me, and I poach on the play. We've now earned our way to the kitchen. We hit a great drop shot. We've moved up. We're in this position here. We've picked black to play. In the position I'm in, I'm responsible for the hallway. I'm also responsible for anything that goes over Linda's head. I'm also responsible for anything played to the court to the left of me. Linda will play Gary heads up, and she'll cover the sideline. But we're going to play one person, 2 against 1, and Dennis isn't going to get to play. And if we're on the same sheet of music and we're patient, which is a huge term in pickleball, we are going to wait till Gary makes a mistake, and then we're going to put the ball away. But Linda would never, ever, as we're dinking, hit to Dennis. If she hits to Dennis, I'm completely out of position, and Dennis will put the ball right down the hallway. Obviously, if Linda did that, we're not playing as a team. I'll lose trust in her play, and we're not focused on the shirt black that we want to play. We've earned our way, and here we go. And I just put it right down the hallway. Okay, the next one, same thing. You notice we started out and Dennis got to play. But once we went 2-on-1, Dennis is done. We're focusing totally on Gary. Gary now is going to pop one up in the hallway here, and I'm going to put it away. Good. Hallway's mine. We're patient. We play 2 or 3 shots. Gary gets a little frisky, and he thinks he can pass us down the hallway, and I'm not going to let that happen. This time, same thing, except Gary's going to hit a mid-court lob. Now, at a mid-court lob, as it goes over Linda's head, Linda has to slide. I fill in behind, and hopefully can put the ball away. Here we go. Okay, and that's my job. My responsibility here is I protect her, I protect the hallway. If they're playing wise, where does the ball go? The ball, when I'm playing with Gary, and we've got him 2-on-1, and we're sitting in this position, his best shot is where? Right over there. Now, Linda and I have to slide. I pick up the shot. Linda stays. One of the things in pickleball that's huge is that we're at the baseline. I never leave my partner, ever. I will never run to the kitchen and leave her back here alone. Nor will she do that to me. When we get to the kitchen, we will never separate. If I go to the left, Linda goes to the left. If I go to the right, then Linda and I go to the right. We never spread. The other element of pickleball, and I saw it so much this week in the tournament, is that when we're playing the soft game and the ball comes to me deep, I never step back here to play a shot. Because I've done one cardinal rule sin, which is what? I left my partner. I left my partner. Once I'm here, I'm going to stay here. and play. If the shot is coming and it's high, I'll just push it back. But I will never take a step back. Because as soon as I take a step back, I've left my partner, I've opened all this court up, and we're in big trouble. You cannot, you've earned the kitchen, never give it away. Even if you lose the point. When I'm here, and if Gary hits a great shot down the hallway, and I hit it into the net, so be it. But I'm not going to sit here 2-on-1 and slowly drift away from my partner, and now we're in big trouble. I need to emphasize one point, and this is very important for the individual that's not hitting on return of service. Timmy serves to Dennis. Dennis hits back, for demo purposes, to Tim. Here comes the ball. Most pickleball players have been taught that if the ball doesn't come to them, that I should run up here as fast as I can and get to the kitchen. But we've just broken a cardinal rule. I left my partner behind. You never, ever separate in this game. You stay together. And this is what it would look like. Timmy serves to Dennis. Hang on. Dennis hits back to Tim. I'm in this position. I see the ball's not coming to me. I'm going to step into the court to this position right here. I know Timmy is hitting the ball to Gary because we've already said we're playing black. If he hits a weak drop shot that's high, I'm not running in and getting killed. If he hits a weak shot, I merely drop back and play defense. And now Gary hits the ball to me. Timmy steps on the court and he watches my shot. If I hit a perfect drop shot into the corner, we both then, come on, we both are moving up to the kitchen. But we never, ever separate. And it happens all the time. The tournament I went to this summer, or this past week, happened all the time. You can never leave your partner. If Timmy's hitting the ball, I have to sit here and stay on his shoulder and watch his shot. If he hits it as hard as he can back to Gary, I'm going to just stop here and play defense because he hasn't really hit a good shot. The only shot that we're going to get and earning our way to the kitchen will be a drop shot into the corner. If Timmy by chance throws a lob over Gary's head and we both like it, it's a good lob and it's deep, and we've accomplished our mission. We've forced them off of the kitchen line. So Timmy throws up a great lob. Here we come. Gary's running back to get the lob. He hits a ball back to me, and I put it away. A good rule of thought on lob shots. If you get a lob, the rule I like, and I share with my partner, is if I get lobbed and I can't get and hit it in the air, if it comes back here and drops, Timmy doesn't stay there. He comes back with us. Again, we never separate. I get back here, the ball bounces, a lob gets a lob. A lob gets a lob. Timmy knows that if I can get back here and get my paddle on it, I'm throwing the ball up high. If they go back and let it bounce, we're coming. If they hit it in the air, we're staying. And we're going to play defense. And as soon as the ball comes back to me, Timmy knows I'm going to press it into the kitchen. So the off hitter in pickleball is huge, especially for the serving side. I want to show one other element of strategy. Tim and I own the kitchen. They're both playing deep, and we couldn't be happier. We don't want them on the kitchen. We want them deep, and our shots will keep them deep. Something I see quite a bit, and you have to be careful with this, is I've got them deep, and then all of a sudden I play a ball short. Now, if I'm playing someone that hasn't got good wheels, that might not be a bad shot. I've got to be very careful because, again, I've broken one of the rules. The rule is if they're deep, keep them deep. And if I end up hitting a ball short into the kitchen, I've done what? I've invited them to lunch. I've invited them to the kitchen all because of my poor shot. So if we've got them deep, we're going to keep them deep. I'm not going to sit here and all of a sudden get a shot and end up doing this. And Gary comes up and now they've got the kitchen back. We're going to go ahead and play a demo game. With our strategies that we've outlined, we're going to see if we can honor them. First of all, let me repeat, they should not win the point. They have a huge disadvantage. 2, the receiving side's objective. Keep them right where they're at. Don't let them get any closer. The serving side's objective. Earn your way to the kitchen. Find a way to hit a shot, preferably your drop shot, that gets you to the kitchen. 0-0-2. Good job. Good job. Point. They just did something in theory they shouldn't have done. They shouldn't have won that point, but they did. So much for theory. Don't step back. Don't step back. Talk, talk, talk. Out. Okay. By definition, that shot was a big mistake. Just, that goes back to what I was talking about earlier of 74%. All you want to do is get it back. That was a 25% shot, and it went out. Okay, here we go. Service.
0-1-1.
Okay, big term right here for Timmy. Big term. Patience. Patience. Timmy tried to do something that the shot wasn't ready to be taken. He would have been just as good to take that shot with his left hand and just put it back onto their court. But he tried to force a shot. Patience is huge in this game. You could stay in this kitchen for a week and just hit drop shots until that right shot comes. And a big thing that I try to tell my students is that every put away shot is not a put away. If I'm not on balance and I haven't brought my legs with me, then I should just push the ball back to my opponent and let them make another mistake. Every put away isn't a put away, and we see this all the time in pickleball. I've got myself to this position. I've spread out further than I should have. I should be on the balls of my feet, and I should be ready to move wherever I need to move. This shot is huge in pickleball. The ball's hit back to me. It's a put away. I don't move my feet, but this is my shot. There's no such shot in pickleball. This isn't going to work. I've got to step, turn, and place it. I've got to bring these things with me. Sitting here doing this is not good. Service.
1-1-1.
Good job. Good job. And they earned their way to the kitchen. Exactly, let's take a second, exactly what they didn't want them to do. They got a way to get up here. Our objective on this side is you two will never get to the kitchen.
2-1-1.
Beautiful. Beautiful play by both sides.
2-1-2.
Deep, good. Deep, good. Perfect. Perfect. That was their plan. That was their objective. Keep them deep. The other side that happens all the time, if they haven't had a clinic like this or haven't been talked to, if one member moves up, Gary moves up, we own the kitchen, and Gary leaves Dennis, Gary's dead. If I get a put away here, I'm going to put it right through him. If I don't have a put away shot, remember our rules, if they're deep, keep him deep. One's already come up, one's still deep. So I'll take the ball back to Dennis. Dennis will pop the ball up to me, and I'll put it away through Gary, because Gary left his partner. Go ahead. 1-2.
1-2-1.
They've earned their way to the kitchen. Good shot. A cobra, a mini cobra. It's more like a black snake. It's a good shot. Here we go. Service.
2-2-1.
Okay, that's called a let. And now Joe gets a second serve.
2-1.
Good. Good. And that shot was set up by Gary's weak return. Gary was being served to. His return ended up here, even shorter than midcourt. And now there's no day that you're going to hit a drop shot. If that ball's here, I'm taking that ball and I'm firing as hard as I can at Gary. Okay? Service. Beautiful return. Keep them deep. Keep them deep. Don't let them up.
Take it.
Earn your way to the kitchen. Fantastic drop or lob shot. Absolutely gorgeous. Couldn't be done any better. The only thing that Dennis had other than a nice lob was what? A drop shot into the kitchen. But he saw a weakness, and they do have weaknesses now, and I don't know if anybody that's watching this tape has seen it. We have a right-hander and we have a left-hander. Where are they incredibly vulnerable? Right down the hallway. They've got each of the sidelines covered, but they don't have this hallway covered at all. And if they end up trying to cover the hallway, it will be with a backhand shot, and they should just pulverize them. Okay? Here we go. Beautiful. Again, set up by a weak return of service and a big chunk of pickleball. It isn't the individual, for example, like me. It isn't the individual that does this. It's the 2 or 3 shots prior by my partner or myself that got this ball here, and now I look like I'm the franchise. When in fact, that point was set up 2 or 3 shots earlier. Service.
3-2.
Beautiful. Keep them deep. It can't be done any better. Very, very nice.
2-4 on 1.
Beautiful. Well, deep, deep. And again, right now, if we're playing in a tournament, one of the first things I would say to my partner, we got wind. Just a little bit of wind changes everything. If it's a nice quiet day, but right now I've got wind pressing over my left shoulder. So now when I come up here and try to hit a shot deep, I've got to factor in that I've got wind pushing this ball that's perforated. Again, 74%. Get it back to your opponent. 80%. You play this game from the waist down. This looks good, but this gets me to looking good. Service. Keep them deep. Invite him. Oh, good shot though. Be real careful about inviting them to the kitchen.
3-4. 2.
Get up here. Deep. Good job. Where's the ball?
4-3.
Good serve. Weak return. And a very, very weak what?
Drop shot.
Drop shot. Again, let me emphasize something. And there's 2 or 3 guys that are, there's more than that. There's a lot of guys that are much better at this game than I am. But when I hit a drop shot, even when I hit it from back here, it has to do what? It's got to get over the net. If I hit a ball from here and it goes into the kitchen or into the net, it's of no value. I can hit a weak drop shot and still be able to do what? Play defense. And when they hit it back, I'll try it again. Bad drop shot. Play defense. But this shot is of no value. Service. Good serve. Okay. Okay. Good shot. And again, it might not be the most sportsmanlike thing to do, but in a tournament, it's not really that important about being truly a good sport. You want to be a good sport and win, honestly. But if you've got the sun, we now have how many players on the court? We've got 3. I've got myself, my partner, and I've got the sun. So I'm going to hit shots up here, and hopefully you can get it. And then in a game, if we have to rotate service sides, say it's 6, 7, or 8, then if I was them, I'd be throwing up some lobs. Okay? So we actually have 3 players right now. These 2 and the sun. Good. Good. Perfect. Gary kept Joe deep. Drove it right into his feet. Let me show you one other element real quick. When I serve, the last place I want to be when I serve is I serve the ball and I end up here. Good players will do what? They'll put it right back on my feet and I'll be trying to pick the ball up here. When you serve, you never step on the court. I serve and prepare. If the ball comes back here deep, I want to try to always be going forward toward the net. I don't want to step here. Here comes the ball, and now I've got to run backwards to hit a great return of service. Never walk onto the court. Service. 5-3-2. Good serve. Weak. All right, be ready. Be ready. Return of service is huge. Huge.
6-3-2.
Good serve.
Go.
Keep him deep. That's great. Now we saw an example of, and I've worked with Timmy now for about a month or so. Okay? Timmy loves being right here. You can't play this game and be right here. You either go up or you stay back. But don't you ever get here, because my shots will always be on your feet. Don't get caught in the middle of the court. Service. Good. Very, very nice. Dennis hit a great drop shot, except Joe hit a better return.
3-6-2.
Great serve. Keep him deep. Trouble in dodge. Come on, Joe. You can't let Gary get to the net.
4-6-2.
Good. Trouble in dodge. Good job. You would think that right now Tim and Joe are trying to make Gary look good. And guess what? They are. Here we go.
5-6-2.
Beautiful. Oh, 25% rule. 74%. That was a 25% shot. Perfect placement for Joe. All Joe has to do is just give it back to him. Trying to hit a winner, he hits it deep, and he made a big mistake. Here we go. Very, very nice. Joe disguised that shot, and I don't know if you saw it, but when you go back and look at the tape, watch how Joe disguised it. He took a little drop step, made Gary and Dennis think that he was going to put it over here. He took it across. Great shot. Great deception. Okay, here we go. Keep him deep. Again, take a look. And Timmy knows how much I love him. But the only way he's going to get better is he can't be here. And this is where he was trying to pick up this shot. When all he had to do was stay behind the baseline, here comes the ball, and he steps forward. Stay off of the court. Service. Keep him deep. Keep him deep. Talk. Talk, Gary. Yes. Yes. Nice play. Nice play. You never know, but in that case, if I'd have been Gary on one of those deep lobs, I might have told Dennis to let it go. Because again, can you feel the wind? And that ball might have just carried out. That's not Dennis's fault. Whose fault is it? It's Gary. Gary didn't tell Dennis. Let it go. All right, here we go. Yes. Yes. All set up by a weak return. Very, very nice. That was a great example. And again, when you go back and look at the tape, look at that shot was set up 2 shots before. It looked good when Joe put it away, but that was the easy part. The hard part was the 2 shots that set it up.
8-6.
Oh, okay. Again, that's our 25%. Here is Gary's shot. He had a put away, but he wasn't on balance. He hadn't moved his feet, so he hit it. Interesting thing in pickleball. If you don't hit the ball in the center, if the ball hits up high, what's going to happen? My wrist breaks and the ball pops up. If I hit low, my wrist breaks and the ball goes into the net. That's why on our drills that we worked on, we really want to work that eye-hand coordination. I want this ball right here in the center or even up to the top. The higher up I hit an overhead shot, the more power I'm getting out of my wrist. But if I sit here and we're playing at the net and the ball hits here, I pop it straight up and the opponents just put it away because my wrist breaks. Same thing here. People ask me all the time, why do I hit so many in the net? You hit so many in the net because you hit the ball on the bottom third of the paddle. And my wrist breaks and the ball goes into the net. Eye, hand, paddle. You've got to see that ball into your paddle and you've got to hit it in the center of the paddle. Go ahead.
9-6-1.
Beautiful shot. Beautiful shot. Nicely done. Here we go. Service.
10-6.
Yes. Yes. Good job. Game, set, match, touch, paddles. I'll give you one last sequence. And this is just Dennis Forbes. And I'll do it with Gary. Come on up here, Gary. Okay, Gary and Dennis just won the match. In pickleball, we come up and we touch paddles. If I just got beat, I'm going to give Gary the butt. That's a joke. I want this DVD to be completely complete. And I want to share some comments with you. 1, patience. This game is a game of patience. It isn't who puts the ball away or who scores the most points. You don't want to force your shots. You want to wait for your shot to come. One shot at a time, set it up, and when you get the opportunity, put it away. Huge. We play this game from the waist down. You've got to move your feet. And in my clinics across the country, I use the 80% rule. I truly say to my folks in my clinics that you play this game from 80% down from the waist and 20% above. Trust your partner. Work as a team and be on the same sheet of music. Know exactly what you're trying to do and why you're trying to do it, and be patient when you set it up. The 74% rule is, I think, huge. Get the ball back to your opponent. Let your opponent make the mistake. That 25% shot that goes out or goes into the net is of no value. Earn your way to the kitchen. The serving team has to find the means through a drop shot to earn their way to the kitchen. You can't force yourself to the kitchen. If your opponents are deep, keep them deep. Don't invite them to the kitchen. If they're deep, keep them deep. If one's short and one's deep, play the individual that's deep. Keep them deep until you get a put away. A lob gets a lob. I've always played that way. If you lob me and I can't hit it in the air, I will throw back a defensive lob, and I'll try to force you off of the kitchen. We have talked about the two most important shots, the drop shot and the deep return of service. You gotta get that ball back past mid-court. And that takes practice. That isn't something you can just play yourself into. How do you take my power away from me in this game? And you take my power away by getting me into a soft game, dinking the ball. You do not want my paddle to ever come from the dink position to the overhead position, because now I'm in a frame of power. If you want to take my power away, get me dinking the ball. I hope this has been a positive journey for you. I've had a wonderful time and I've enjoyed every moment. If someday we play on the court and you beat me, the educator in me will be so proud of you. The competitor in me will be absolutely furious. So you have a choice. You can make me proud or you can make me mad. But if you beat me, I'm not going to be happy. But as an educator, I will be so proud of your play. Last, and maybe most, keep your paddle up. I'll see you on the court.